We're here at Berlin, day 2 of MPE, the Merchant Payments Ecosystem. I'm sat with Moshe Winegarten, the Chief Revenue Officer of Ecommpay. Welcome, good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Great to be here.
It's our pleasure. It's been another really busy show, and we've got a few questions to ask you as we go along. I think, given your bearing in the industry, like, what do you see as being some of the biggest challenges that the e-com payments business has faced, in the last year or so, and even in the future year to come?
There's a few ways to answer that question. Right? I think in the last year or couple of years, right, the current economic climate has made it really tough on individuals, consumers like ourselves. Right, so spend has been pushed towards essentials, non-essentials suffered, which has then impacted our clients. Right, clients have are really kind of struggling to build their revenues. They're succeeding, but it's hard, and that impacts the ability and the amount of money they have to spend on development, improving their tech stack, improving their payments, and that's something we notice across industry. Specific areas like open banking, things like APP fraud, the new regulations and liability shifts that have come in, that's impacted that. So depending on the area, there's been different challenges in the space, but every challenge is a new opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. And you make that point where there's these challenges, there's these opportunities. So perhaps your views on what some of those opportunities look like as we look into the rest of the year.
Sure. I mean, certainly from an Ecommpay perspective, the way we're helping merchants, they can't prioritize and go, with a different BNPL provider, a different, one-click wallet, etc., or different, open banking. We bring that all together for our merchants. So with a single integration, we've incorporated direct debits, open banking solution, the latest one-click wallet, click to pay from the schemes, as well as obviously PayPal, Apple, Google Pay, and then the local payment methods as they expand, as they move into new markets. So definitely from that perspective, it's an opportunity. That challenge is how we're solving for that. In open banking, the APP fraud liability shift, we've been working with regulators, with merchants to understand how they can structure to make, protect themselves in that space. As more different verticals have come into the e-commerce space, looking at different finance solutions beyond BNPL or to longer term finance. So lots of opportunities out there, and it's an ever-changing space.
I'm going to pick up on one thing you said there, and that's alt payments. They seem to be, they've been around for a while, lots of them, and I know there's new ones coming all the time, but 3 years ago, PIX didn't exist, and now it's a predominant payment form in Brazil.
Yeah.
BLIK in Poland, as we know about as well. So I just want to get your views on the alt payment market. Like, how fast is it growing? And from a merchant perspective, are they coming in and asking those, as kind of table stakes these days, as opposed to something that's nice to have?
So a mix of, the answer's a mix of answers to that. There's always been a lot of payment methods out there. I think as an industry, we've done a good job educating merchants, saying, look, it's not just Visa and MasterCard everywhere. Different people and consumers, different markets want to pay a different way. So we've educated merchants on the need and the value of it, which has driven demand. But there have also been new and emerging players, like, in the last few years, 10 years, the emergence of Google Pay, Apple Pay as a dominant kind of alternative payment method has been in there. In areas like Asia, we're seeing there a lot more coming in, the more fluidity, which is cool. So there is more demand because of more education, but there are more methods coming in. And even within Europe, I'm excited for Wero, which is kind of combining GiroPay and Ideal, Payconique and Payleave. I think that's going to be really cool as well.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to think that we're an industry that doesn't like to get surprised very often, but I think there's still some surprising stuff happening in and around us. So what are your thoughts on what might be surprising for the future?
Ooh, surprising for the future. I'll go the other way. I think in the payments industry, you have to be used to surprises by now, right? Whether it's a new regulation, a new scheme mandate, government's changing, as we've seen in the US and all that kind of thing. And I think as PSPs, we have to be good at reacting to that, to insulate and protect and ensure business continuity for our merchants. So I would say, it's always be prepared for a surprise, because it's a cool and fun place.
Finally, thoughts on MPE. I know you guys are here. You've got a lovely stand. It's obviously an important show for you. What are your thoughts on what you've seen at the show to date?
Yeah, embarrassingly, I'm going to admit this is my first MPE. So I've been in payments about 18 years. And last year I was injured, couldn't come. So this is my first MPE, but it's been fantastic so far. It's only day 2. really, really good conversations, learning a lot from partners, from merchants out there, hearing some of the challenges, and a great, some of the talks really, really fascinating. Classic themes of AI, orchestration, and et cetera, which you expect this year. But it's been really, really good. I'm excited for the rest of the show.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Moshe, for your time.
Thank you.